Combining over 13 hamlets and villages and boasting beautiful scenery surrounding the area, Saddleworth truly features some of the best England has to offer. It was once a centre for textile and cotton production, but like many places never quite recovered from the Great Depression. And yet Saddleworth remains one of the treasured locations in the United Kingdom. It is now facing a new challenge, pitting neighbour against neighbour. Saddleworth School is in a state of disrepair and a decision needs to be reached, and soon. Do they build a new school on a new location, or do they stay where they are and rebuild? Is it going to be the school or the view?
Welcome to Saddleworth, a civil parish council in Greater Manchester, just to the west of the Pennines.
My name is Gregory Deane, and I'm here to investigate the situation and find out why relocating the site causes such conflict.
The school first opened in 1911 and since then has grown in popularity and now holds over 1,300 students. However, the building is now showing its age and a decision needs to be reached. Does it stay where it is or does it move? The site here in Diggle currently houses Patterson and Rothwell Limited. However, that could make way for a new school that holds up to 1,500 students. The site is not without problems. Residents have expressed fears of congestion due to the one access road leading off the busy main road. Another concern is that the buildings may trespass upon the beautiful and protected greenbelt sites. This winter saw record level of rainfall, and the people opposed to the move are worried that if the school moves here, this could be repeated and their children would be in danger. The situation is complex, and to understand the future of the school, we first need to look at the past.
The school is currently based here in the commercial centre of Uppermill, but that could move to here in Diggle. The school grounds are large and consist of many buildings built over a long period of time. The oldest part of the building houses the dining room and the maths classes and is located towards the entrance.
After visiting the museum, I talked to former student turned builder Ian Scotney about his memories of the school.
In 1969 my family moved up here and I found that I'd moved from a Victorian type boys' school, and then I was brought up here to Saddleworth and went to Saddleworth, and I remember it being like state of the art at that time. The buildings are all like again, it's like 60s, that sort of innovations, architectural innovations coming through where we had like flat roofs. I mean, that's what I remember mainly, but also all the facilities was amazing, and all the grounds. And I really don't know what's involved in why they're moving it. I would have thought that was a beautiful spot where it is at the moment, and it seems a shame, to be honest. Classes were probably similar to what they are today, probably 30-ish, something like that. Yeah, maybe a bit bigger on times and other times not. I mean, that's first priority as far as schooling is concerned, is what the children are going to need. And
After hearing Ian's views of what must have been a very impressive school in its heyday, I decided to see the school for myself. The Specialist Language College is just off the main road in and out of Uppermill, and it's where I met with head teacher Matthew Milburn, who took me through his outlook on the situation and his views on the future of the community.
So, the big debate in Saddleworth is raging on, as you fully well know as the head teacher of the school. Obviously, could you just give us a bit of background? What is your stance on it?
Well, you know, there's been a debate about where the school should go. I think everybody agrees there needs to be a new school in Saddleworth. The debate's been about where the school should be located, and we formed a technical group which drew on local expertise, and that involved people who are parents, people who are linked to the school, but also people who have experience within the world of design, of planning similar sort of build projects, and have experience of architecture as well. And included within that were a number of residents from Diggle. The technical group met weekly and looked at several options. The control option, which had been prepared by the EFA, the Education Funding Agency, the government, and the council, and also looked at an option prepared by a local architect who was a member of the technical group, which was to locate the school on this site. We looked at all of the information that we had available to us, and after a lot of discussion, a lot of debate, came to the conclusion that we accept that the Diggle site is the very best site available to us at this time for the new school.
Understandably, there's a lot of hesitation from residents of Diggle. Is there anything you can say that would reassure them that this is the right course of action?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that people will have concerns about a large school being built within what is, you know, a beautiful village. In terms of reassurance, we want to be good neighbours, and our absolute commitment is to work with the people of Diggle to create what I hope will be a fantastic school, but also a fantastic hub for the community, so it becomes somewhere which people look upon fondly as being a place where they can go and enjoy, for example, sporting activity, where they can go and enjoy arts activity, a school which they can feel proud of. And in fact, all the evidence is when good schools open within communities, benefits for the community are very significant. So I'm hoping that, as well as making sure that the school's a great place, we're able to improve the infrastructure around Diggle. The council, for example, are talking about widening the road so that residents can get in and out much more easily than they can do currently, because residents are forced to park on the side of the road. Well, the council have a proposal which is that residents on Huddersfield Road would have their own parking spaces behind their properties. So, I mean, I think there will be obviously a period during which the building work's taking place where there'll be some disruption. But then once the school becomes established, I hope we can be good neighbours and provide a hub for the community and give the village a great sense of vibrance and excitement.
There is some concern that the site for the new proposed school is on a greenbelt site. Is there any basis to this claim?
So the main school, is going to be located on an area of land that's been identified for light industrial. So that's where the main part of the school is going. There is one area of greenbelt within the site, and that area is designated for the playing fields, the pitches, and also for the sports centre.
Councillor Brian Lord, Chair of Governors, was recently quoted as saying all he wants is a facility where his children can work. Is that something you wish to echo?
Well, of course, I'm going to support everything the Chair of Governors says, and I think that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants a fantastic facility where learning is the focus. So that's the exciting bit now. I think I hope we're into the phase where we get on with really designing what is a fantastic state-of-the-art and fit-for-purpose school, which everybody can enjoy attending, which everybody can enjoy being part of, so that it forms part of a hub of the community.
Ian fondly remembers his time at his school and how the buildings were state-of-the-art during the years of his attendance. He also expresses his confusion that the school has to move and wonders why it cannot stay where it is. But when compared to Mr. Milburn's interpretation of the situation, it would seem that Ian's memories are clouded with nostalgia. Mr. Milburn inherited the school in its current state and so only sees the remnants of the once impressive buildings. However, despite this, Mr. Milburn strongly believes that the school can regain its status. However, this might mean a move to the site in Diggle. It would seem that they both agree that whatever the outcome, it must be decided with the children's best interests at heart.
Don't mind doing it for the kids.
Amongst those weighing in the situation was David Cameron, who, during the 2011 by-elections, said this to Saddleworth News.
The first thing is that we're going to take the country through some difficult times, but to brighter times ahead. It's only if we deal with our deficit, if we pay down our debts, if we get our economy growing, that we can get what everyone, I think, in Alderman Saddleworth wants, which is jobs and investment and growth, and we're going to get that, but we do have to take some difficult decisions, and I think people understand that. You know, the Building Schools for the Future programme was badly organised, unaffordable, and hugely wasteful, and we had to, as a new government, come in and sort it out. We are going ahead with a £14 billion programme of school building and refurbishment, and there'll be plenty of opportunities for new school building and school refurbishment, and I think people all over the country and people in Alderman Saddleworth understand we've had to take some difficult decisions.
So what the Prime Minister was describing in 2011 is how the coalition would have to end Labour's Building Schools for the Future programme, as, in his words, it wasn't cost effective. He also mentioned its successor, the Education Funding Agency, the board which not only deals with setting up new academies, but, as Mr Milburn says, is also funding the move to the new site in Diggle, should it happen. Among the fears of access and safety, because the debates are going on so long, people are worried that the government would pull its funding. So far we've talked to a lot of people who are for the move or sat on the fence. Next I want to hear why people oppose the move. Those opposing the move call themselves the Save Diggle Action Group and are spearheaded by Parish Councillor Mike Buckley. He invited me to his home to explain why he and the other supporters would like the school to remain where it is.
I'm with Mike Buckley, the spokesperson for the Save Diggle Action Group. We're just here to clear up the air on the entire issue. So, if you could just briefly talk me through your main concerns about the proposal.
Well, our main concerns are that the proposal is to move the school from Upper Mill and resite it in Diggle. So the access issue, the travel issue, the building on the green fields and the flooding issue, that's just the starting of the problems at Diggle. And really there aren't any problems at Upper Mill other than the inconvenience of having to build while the school's still in operation for a period of about 12 to 15 months. Upper Mill is the commercial centre of Saddleworth. It's centrally located. All the facilities are already there, the infrastructure. We've had a number of expert professionals look at the issue, architects and building professionals, and they've indicated to us that it can be built while the school's still in operation by utilising the playing fields that are presently at the back of the site, building the school on the playing fields, and then when the new school is finished, moving the school into the new premises, demolishing the old buildings and using part of that site to create a new full-size football pitch. The school at the moment accommodates about 1,350 kids, and the proposal is to increase that to about 1,500. And it's been agreed the funding is available for a new school, and the present school's in not a very good state, and it does need quite a lot of work spending on it to get it into an acceptable state. So the funding agency, the government funding agency, have offered 17 million to build a new school, and they've been in discussions with Oldham Council, and the decision has been made to build a school in Diggle.
There is the argument that the school itself will not be built on the greenfield site. It is just the playing fields.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. The site at Diggle is 70% greenbelt and 30% land where the building is going to be. The school itself is quite tightly bound on a 3-acre site. If you look at the plan where it's going to go, the school buildings will be on a 3-acre site together with all the car parking facilities and the facilities for the bus to turn around. That leaves the sports block, and the sports block is 2 or 3 stories high, and that is going to be built on the green belt. The playing fields are going to be built on the green belt. That is development. There's going to be substantial levelling of the land needed for the playing fields. There'll be fencing around the playing fields for security. There'll be floodlights. So it'll be major development. It'll be a very urban sort of setting by the time it's finished.
One of the arguments is that the opposition comes from members of the Diggle who are perhaps being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Their words, not mine. I just want to make that clear. Is there anything you can say to counter that?
I guess the word is NIMBY, isn't it? Yeah. I'd be the first person to put my hand up and say, yeah, I'm a NIMBY. I don't live in Diggle, but I'm a NIMBY because Saddleworth is my backyard, and I care about Saddleworth. I care passionately about Saddleworth, I want to see the greenfields retained. I don't want to see building all over the greenbelt. And I want to pass that on to the next generation. You know, we live in a beautiful area. I don't want to see it spoiled. And as a councillor, I've devoted most of my time on the council, both on Oldham Council and Saddleworth Parish Council, to trying to maintain the character and quality of Saddleworth. And if that is defending my backyard, yeah, I'm a NIMBY. I don't mind saying I'm the first NIMBY, I'll put my hand up. I'm proud to say that I'm defending the area in which I live.
Some strong words there from Mike Buckley, who is a self-proclaimed NIMBY. My next stop was the office of the Labour MP for Oldham and Saddleworth, Debbie Abrahams, but she was unfortunately unable to be videoed, but gave us this statement via Saddleworth News.
In regards to the building of a much needed new school in the area, I have said from the start I think the government has treated Saddleworth badly. The proposed school's new location and specifications are far from ideal and are clearly driven by cost. At the same time, the government has effectively taken £4 million from Oldham Council to set up a free school in Chadderton. I have been most disappointed with the intransigence of the government. The Education Funding Agency have also not been particularly forthcoming. In my letter to residents, I have said that I believe the development of a new Saddleworth School for our young people, fit for the 21st century, is paramount. Although there are still significant issues that need to be resolved, particularly around addressing access, traffic and flood risk issues, I understand that the school, council and the EFA will be doing this as part of the planning application process. Whilst the Diggle site is not ideal, especially at the front and so close to Huddersfield Road, I do believe that it's probably the least worst option given the restrictions of the allowed budget and government timetable. I believe the school recognises that there are genuine concerns from residents, especially those living on Huddersfield Road. I have urged the school and the council to look at how they can engage with residents more effectively, so that any development is based on active involvement in decision making that affects them and is taken forward in a constructive and sensitive manner.
The issue is a contentious one and does not look like it will be swiftly resolved. All parties agree that the school is not fit for purpose at the moment, but it's hard to see any of them backing down. Emotive points have been raised by all sides. We heard Ian talk about the history and the character of the current site and express that it would be a shame to see the school move. Mr Milburn explained that they wanted to create a hub for the entire community and that the school would be good neighbours wherever they end up. Mike Buckley and the Save Diggle Action Group said that they wanted to protect the Greenbelt site and preserve it for generations to come. Debbie Abrahams has admitted that the situation isn't ideal and has expressed a disgust at how the government has handled it. Though a decision is yet to be reached, it is clear that the educational facilities in Saddleworth need to be improved, whether this is refurbishing or moving to a new site. But is it really about where the school ends up, or should the focus be on getting the best for the children who are, after all, the future of the area?